And Sri Lanka's Prime Minister offered talks on Wednesday with protesters calling for the government to step down over its handling of an economic crisis as the opposition threatened to bring a no-confidence motion against it in the parliament. The root of the crisis lies in mismanagement of public finances that critics say has been exacerbated by tax cuts enacted by the government just before the COVID-19 pandemic.
Sri Lanka's Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa offered talks on Wednesday with protesters calling for the government to step down over its handling of an economic crisis as the opposition threatened to bring a no-confidence motion against it in Parliament. In a Twitter post, Mahinda Rajapaksa said, "I am willing and prepared to meet with citizens currently engaged in the protest at the Gale Face to hear their thoughts and complaints. I invite them to meet and discuss any possible plausible courses of action for the sake of Lanka." The island nation of 22 million people is in the throes of its worst financial crisis since independence in 1948, with a foreign currency shortage stalling imports of fuel and medicines and bringing hours of power cuts a day. Thousands of people have taken to the streets, many staging a sit-in in the commercial capital Colombo to denounce the government led by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and his elder brother Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Some of the protesters at the tent encampment, which has been growing over recent days with food stalls, medical facilities and 4 charging stations, said this week they would only leave if the Rajapaksa stepped down. Sri Lanka is due to begin negotiations with the International Monetary Fund (IMF) next week for a loan program, after months of delay as the crisis worsened. On Tuesday, the central bank chief said he was suspending foreign debt payments and diverting dwindling foreign reserves to importing essentials. Adding to the uncertainty, the main opposition Samagi Jana Balavegaya alliance said it would give the president and prime minister a week to step down before moving a no-confidence motion in parliament. The government has said it holds a majority in the 225-member parliament, which is scheduled to meet next week, despite more than 24 lawmakers leaving the ruling coalition and declaring themselves independent last week. The roots of the crisis lies in mismanagement of public finances that critics say has been exacerbated by tax cuts enacted by the government just before the COVID-19 pandemic.